We're here to talk about some of our DCT tools and the demos that go with them to teach you about the features and benefits of each item. First one we're going to start with is the adjustable pry bar. It comes in two lengths. This one will open out to about 18 inches and the larger one will open up to about 37 inches. And on here it has half-inch increments here where you can set and adjust it to different lengths. This button here on the side allows you to adjust the foot to different positions, and there's actually 12 different positions that that'll adjust to. Again, this one opens to 18 and the larger one will open up to 37 inches. They're called adjustable pry bars. Okay, our next item is our grease buster. What's cool about this is used for grease zerks on vehicles or machinery that may have clogged grease zerks. And what this does is this pulls out. You can take any one of our penetrating oils, spray them into a cap, and then pour it in, or they can use fuel oil or something like that. Replace the plunger after you fill it about that full with a penetrating oil. You place that onto the grease zerk. You take a hammer and you hit this end, but you don't pound it like a nail. You just strike it with the hammer. It takes a teardrop of that fluid that's in there and opens up the grease zerk so the customer can grease his equipment or electric motors or pumps or whatever. This is our auto loading utility knife. It has the forward and reverse retraction button here on top. It has on the side here, if you push down on that little tab, you can open that up and you're storing 5 blades in the side here. What that does for you, as you put the blade out, you're using that to cut things. You wear the blade out. Instead of having to take a screw out of here to replace it, you just push this button here on top, push that down, pull your blade out, open up your, and bring the button back and forward again. You got a brand new blade ready to go again. You can take the old blade, flip it around, open up your side compartment, and restore it with the fresh edge forward, so you have a nice clean cutting edge again when it's ready to be used. Again, it's the auto loading utility knife. Next we have our PVC plier. This will open up to a 3-inch capacity, great for PVC pipe and also great for filters on water filtration systems. The reason a customer would want this, say he's putting together some PVC pipe and he's got this set up like this and the pipe needs to come straight down in there and he wants to be able to turn that without damaging it. You just grab hold of it like so, gets it in alignment for the pipe coming down. Also, if he's tightening this nut up, he just wants to give it that little extra check with a plier, open it to the correct size, put it on the nut, and turn it and give it the extra tightness that it needs to keep from leaking. Again, the PVC joint plier. Next we have the T-handle stubby ratcheting screwdriver by Baco. It has a nut here, or collar I should say, that you can turn back and forth. What that does allows you to set it in either direction for ratcheting. Turn it back the other way, now it's going to ratchet the other way. Or you can set it dead on in the center, and now it's a stationary screwdriver. It gives you more torque for tightening and unloosening screws. It's a standard 1/4-inch bit holder, so you can put in a Phillips straight screwdriver or security 1/4-inch bit. Again, it's the T-handle Baco screwdriver. Next, we have a screw holding screwdriver. This is a spring loaded. You put your thumb there on that edge, pull back. It gave me too big of a screw. Yeah, I'll have to do that one over.
What's wrong with it?
It's too big of a screw. Oh. Okay.
Oh, isn't fine?
Yeah, can I start over now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
All right, sorry.
I'm going to be cutting these together. Yeah.
All right.
It's not going to take long.
Okay, next we have our screw holding screwdriver. It comes in a Phillips or a straight blade. You pull forward on that by taking your thumb right there. As you can see, it's spring loaded. Take your Phillips screw, set it down in there, and now you can reach into panels or down into holes, get your screw started, and then once it's started by a couple turns, push forward on that, lift the screwdriver off, and take your bit back into the screw and continue finishing the job. Again, it comes in a number 1 and a number 2 Phillips, and your two straight blades, which are like a number, probably like a 1 or a 3 blade screwdriver. Screw holding screwdriver. Next is our 6-piece screwdriver set. What's nice about these is the heat treating process they do on the tips of these screwdrivers. They heat treat them to a 64 Rockwell. Most companies only heat treat tools or screwdrivers to a 62. What that does for you, when you have a screw, and this gets rounded out here, this screwdriver will still possibly be able to get into that after it's been rounded out and help you pull that screw out. Because of the hardness of that tip, it doesn't round the screw. The other features of this screwdriver, this whole shank here comes all the way up into the top of the handle. You have a hole in the top. If you want to take another screwdriver to put through there as you're holding down and turning, it gives you more leverage. High impact material here. You want to use these screwdrivers for a punch or chisel. I've taken this and I've pounded it through this steel right there. I don't know if you can see that tip coming through, but these will not damage these screwdrivers like other screwdrivers, and you'll still be able to use it for your everyday use. And the last feature is the anti-slip grip. Your hand's greasy or oily. This is designed to help give you more torque for turning and loosening on screws. Again, it's our 6-piece screwdriver set. Next we have our fire and rescue blades. What's unique about these is the thickness. They're about a 62 thousandths thick, where normal blades are only 32. They come in 3 different lengths. They come in a 6. This is the 9-inch, and they also make them in a 12. And if you're not familiar with a reciprocating saw, some people call them sawzalls or reciprocating. This is what they look like. And the blades just slip in here, and the blade will have a reciprocating motion this way for cutting, say, through walls, pipes, or whatever. And then the other feature of the blade is it's been heat treated. Most blades are not. So what that does for you, it makes it a safer blade. It's less likely to shatter or break as you're cutting. And then the space between the tooth, which is called the gullet, every tooth has a different angle to it. So what that does for you, it allows you to cut quicker and smoother cuts. And how that does is the chip that's being created is the heat, and as it cuts, it pulls the chip away from the blade and material, so the blade runs cooler, and you're not generating work hardness into what you're cutting. Again, so you're going to get about 40 to 1 life over other blades in the market area. The fire and rescue blade. Next, we're going to talk about our Brute Platinum high-speed drill bits. They come in a 29-piece twister set, also available in a 15-piece set, or a six-piece pocket set. What's great about these bits is the point is 135-degree split point. What that does for you is allows you to drill on a round or a flat without center punching. Normally, if I was going to drill on the side of that, I'd have to center punch it and then start drilling. But with these bits, you can go ahead and drill on the side of that without it slipping or sliding. And a good demo for these is to get a 3/16 drill bit, take about a 3/8 by 2.5 inch screw, spin a nut down on it, put it into the vise, and then show the customer how you can drill on the side of that without center punching, or let him do it. You'll be able to drill right through that. And then the features of the bits, why it's cutting, is the relief angle inside the flute area here as it comes up. It grabs again the chip. The chip is the heat. It pulls it away from the bit quicker than any other drill bit in the market. Again, allowing the bit to run cooler and not generating work hardness into what you're cutting. It has what they call NOMO. That's nitrite oxide on the margins only. It's a treat that they put on there. So you don't really have to use a cutting fluid to use these bits, so you could actually call them green because you're not having to use cutting fluids. If you use a cutting fluid, it's just going to give you more life for your bits. These bits, through 1/4-inch stainless steel, will give you about 300 holes. On the average, most bits are probably 50 or 60 if they're lucky. Again, they're the Brute Platinum bits. The bit also has these flats up on the shanks in your larger sizes, so when you install that into a drill, it can, the chuck, this is the chuck here, comes down onto your bit, grabs your bit, so as you're drilling into something, the bit is not spinning inside the chuck area here. So it's a great feature. Okay, next we're going to talk about our Booster Plus bits for drilling into concrete. Standard masonry bits have a flat end to them, kind of like a T, as you can see here on this one. What happens when you're drilling into concrete, this is a simulate concrete, it has a piece of rebar going down through there. If I was to hit that rebar dead on, I'd have to move over and re-drill another hole. Or if you hit rebar out on the side, it grabs and twists, breaks the bit, and then you got to get yourself another bit. And lastly, what these do, when they're drilling, they make a triangular hole in the concrete. So if you were to put an anchor in there, the anchor has only 3 points that it's really going to hold on. Short life for your anchor. So we get rid of those. On ours, it still has one piece of carbide. It has a point like a regular drill bit now. So what that allows you to do, as you're drilling and hit rebar, you can hit it dead on. Flip the machine to rotary motion, continue drilling and drill through the rebar, and then once you're through, flip it back to hammer. And what hammer does, it pulls the bit on a reciprocating motion plus drilling at the same time. That's what enhances a hammer drill. If I was to hit the rebar out on the side, again, just stop for a minute, turn it to rotary, continue to drill through, and you will not damage the bit. The features on this here, in the flute area, it has these flats in here. What those are designed to do is to help evacuate the hole, so you're not having to pull the bit back a little bit to help get the dust and debris that's being created out. The bit does it itself. And if you haven't seen a hammer drill before, this is what they look like, and here's the lever that I'm talking about to turn it from hammer over to rotary. All true hammer drills have that feature, whether they're corded or cordless. A hammer drill bit has a shank called SDS, and most brands like Hilti, Bosch, Milwaukee, and DeWalt, these bits all fit in there, and this is how they go in. You just push them in, and the bit's installed. To release the bit, pull back on the collar, and the bit comes out that easily. These come in sizes 3/4 and down, 2 foot lengths and down, and we have a 5-piece set up with your standard anchor sizes in here. So you got from 1/2 inch down to 3/16 size. And the last feature on that, going back to setting an anchor, as this drills, it leaves a nice round hole, so your anchor has the full surface to hold. Longer life for your anchors. Again, the Booster Plus bits.